Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to another group coaching section where I rant and rave if no one can show up live. Remember, if you have any questions and you can't make the live group coaching sessions, make sure you email me or pop them in the community. And I will be happy to answer them either right away or wait for the live, or sometimes I just make you guys a personal video, depending on how in-depth the answer needs to be to the question. So I am going to talk about something that has been all over my social media and has come up in a few discovery calls and with some one-on-one clients, and how IVF and IUI. So a lot of people get suggested to do IUI first, and when that doesn't work, you move into IVF. And what I'm seeing nowadays is that the continuous use of fertility treatment drugs, just that alone, well, not that alone. That's the first thing, right? When you are doing multiple rounds quite quickly, I had a discovery call where this poor woman was almost, no, she was 7 years deep into almost continuous fertility treatment drug use. And when she wasn't, quote unquote, on a treatment plan, they were still pumping her full of drugs to produce, whatever outcome they were searching for, well, for her, it was, the brain fart, the growing of the eggs, right? So they wanted to see follicles. That's the word I am looking for. And what these fertility treatment specialists, doctors, clinics aren't telling you, because I just don't think they know, because if they did know, it would be like malpractice. And they always take an oath to do no harm. So I'm really, I do believe that they just don't know, is this is really having a huge impact um on your health, and, as you guys know, on your fertility health. Your mental, emotional, physical health impacts your fertility health. There's no separation between the two. And sometimes it doesn't, quote unquote, affect fertility per se, like meaning getting and staying pregnant, but it absolutely can affect a lot of different aspects of the journey during pregnancy and postpartum, as you guys know, that I rant and rave about. So this is like a huge thing right now. This is what's coming into my awareness through the many conversations that I have privately. And I really want to share this with the larger community, that this is a thing. This is a really big thing. And I personally feel it's one of the most devastating things happening with inside of our community, because it's literally taking your fertility issues that you previously had, either known or unknown, before you started trying to conceive, and amplifying them, like making them worse, making your chances of using these medical treatments worse than when you first started using the treatments. And this is due to really not giving the body the accurate time and support you need to heal, to detox these drugs, heal mentally and emotionally from the loss and the quote unquote failure that you feel every time a round doesn't work or results in a miscarriage. These are really big things. And I really want to emphasize that if your clinic tells you to wait or to slow down, to listen to them. If they are not giving you this advice, maybe you're a little bit older and they feel like, well, if you don't do it now, it's never going to work. That's complete BS. If there's just no advice and you're just led to do whatever you want to do, my advice is to slow the fuck down. Trust me, IVF is going nowhere. If anything, it's going to become a bigger business in the future because more people are going to be dealing with fertility issues. The next generation is really coming of age, wanting to start creating families. Maybe the women who have wanted to quote unquote wait later in life and are going to be faced with some big issues because health and wellness and the correlation to cellular health to fertility health just hasn't reached the mass population yet. This is my mission, right? And so that treatment facility, they're always going to be there for you. They're not going anywhere, okay? So have faith that if you choose or want to use medical treatment to help get you to your final destination faster, I definitely believe that medical treatment can do that for you. Obviously, you are able to collect, hopefully, fingers crossed, more than one egg in that round. And when you're trying naturally, that's usually just what you get: one egg, one shot every single month. Fertility treatment, especially IVF, really ramps those numbers up for you. You can do genetic testing. There's lots of reasons why to use IVF, especially if you are, quote unquote older. Really, it gives you that time. What it does not give you, gives you. What it doesn't give you is increasing your health and well-being, increasing that embryo quality and that egg quality. IVF cannot do that for you. Over on TikTok, there's been some comments about, well, IVF has this ability to teach your body what it needs to do naturally or like kickstart your fertility. And I just really want people to think about that for 1 second. If that's what IVF is doing to people, that's basically nanotechnology. That's basically bots going into your body, reprogramming your cells, your DNA, all these normal functions that happen automatically or should happen automatically, and going in and like reprogramming that. Like, it's fucked up, right? Like, and maybe, just maybe, in the future, there can be that technology. But that's not what IVF does right now at all, like not even a little bit. Um, I think a lot of people are thinking this because you see a lot of people go through, multiple rounds of treatment and then all of a sudden they're pregnant naturally. But it's not the IVF treatment teaching your body what to do or kickstarting anything. Drugs as they are right now mimic what your body wants to do and can do naturally when you improve your cellular health, really figure out what's going on. Once you stop taking those drugs, they start to leave your body. Your body tries its best to detox the shit out of those things because it's a foreign agent. They don't want them there. A lot of drugs are set up where if you're continuously on them, so let's talk about birth control, let's talk about thyroid medication, glutathione. So these natural mimicking hormones or different things that you need for your body to function, if you overuse them, your body actually will start thinking, hey, I don't need to produce this much, so I'm gonna lower that production. And it actually makes you more reliant on the medication. Now, as far as I know, IVF meds don't do that. They're not going to make you reliant on that medication to proper functionally. But the continual use of mimicking and overstimulating the body with these synthetic hormones really just throws your body out of whack. And that's what long-term birth control does. And for the most part, it starts to hide, symptoms as well of what's going on naturally. Yeah, one of the discovery calls was like, well, what's your normal cycle like? And they're like, I don't know. Haven't had a normal cycle in years because I've been on so much fertility treatment. And when I'm not on fertility treatment, I'm on birth control. And so we just don't even know like where your body's at. And like, we got to really give your body time to detox, figure out where you're at, and then start supporting from there. So, yeah, IVF does not, and like, this is probably some inside work that I need to do, but it really pisses me off when people come towards me with that type of language. Um, Probably for the biggest thing is it disempowers the woman. It really leads this false narrative that everyone dealing with fertility issues needs this medical support to achieve their ultimate goal, which for most of us, we can do this with minimum support if we maximize our cellular health. But telling women, oh, well, these treatments are gonna, like kickstart your fertility or teach your body what it naturally has been programmed to do for millions of years. It's just, literally just takes the power away from the woman. And the woman is there thinking like, well, I need this to do what my body naturally was designed to do. And I think that's what gets my goat the most is, you feel so disempowered through so much of your fertility journey. And especially when you're using medical treatments, you just, you give away your power. I know that I felt very different emotions, and I guess that's what I was feeling, that I was so powerless and that I couldn't do anything. And yet here I was kind of quote unquote a normal functioning woman, had all the bits, but they just weren't doing it, and I needed these medical treatments to do it. And that's what I truly believed until I got pregnant naturally, right? And I don't beat myself up over it. I didn't know what I didn't know, but I really want to support women through this type of language and real just fucking nonsense that's getting put out there. And I think it's really dangerous to even allow this kind of talk to go on. If you ever hear a medical professional say this, or anyone around you, I would like you to flip the script on them and say, can you please show me the peer-reviewed research about this? Like, show me the evidence, and not natural pregnancies after IVF. That is not evidence. And obviously I don't have the evidence to back up my theories, even though they're right. I'm just saying. Like, um, most of the time when people get pregnant after IVF or after fertility treatments, it's because they have changed either small or big things to improve their cellular health without even knowing what was going on. A lot of the times they never needed medical assistance. And the stress of infertility and medical treatments, once that kind of goes away, or you're not hyper focusing on it, that's the stress and your cortisol response that just greatly lowers. And let's say you've changed up your diet a little bit, got your supplementation going on. And once you surrender, remember we talk a lot about surrender, that brings your fertility line up. So if you haven't listened to the community chat, and obviously this all goes out onto the podcast as well about the fertility line, and I think there's even a link for the podcast to watch that because I use a lot of hand movements. A lot of people are here with their fertility line. And I was saying to someone in a discovery call the other day that like our ancestors were up here. Like, so my hand is like at my chin, my other hand's like above my head, right? They didn't think about fertility. They took fertility for granted, and rightly so. We were just all healthy human beings having healthy babies for the most part. And through the society, toxins, food, stress, you fucking name it, most of us are hovering way closer to this fertility line. Some just above, some right on, right? And remember, this fertility line isn't perfection. This is just your ability to get and stay pregnant depending on your genetics and, everything that's associated with it. So when you're just like baseline with your fertility, you're not getting and staying pregnant, you use medical assistance, maybe you're improving some, it doesn't work, or it does work, and then all of a sudden you just get a little bit above that line. All the stress is gone, all that kind of BS is gone. You've improved your diet, your mental and emotional well-being is up. You're just up a little bit more and you get and stay pregnant. I know I make it sound simple, but it's not that. For some people, it's that simple. I know if you are like me, dealing with a lot more bigger issues, or even feeling frustrated that you feel like you're doing everything perfect and it's still not working, I completely relate to you. And just know that it's really about keeping up exactly what you feel is right for you, keeping up that consistency, and surrendering. Remember, that's the key to this process. So that is why people usually get pregnant after IVF. IVF was never fucking needed in the first place, and IVF for a lot of people isn't needed. Unless you have structural issues or genetic issues that cannot be influenced by functional medicine, you don't need IVF. It should just be a choice. Am I choosing to use IVF to, quote unquote, make my journey a little bit quicker? Because absolutely it can help with that. So yeah, in regards to these multiple rounds of IVF, obviously the drugs are a big issue, and I know I touched on it just a little bit before. The mental and emotional toll. This is probably one of the most underrated issues going on in the fertility treatment realm. Hats off if you have a clinic that is aware of this, or a doctor that is aware of this. But everyone that I'm speaking to right now is just broken, just absolutely broken from round after round after round. And the ones that choose to do discovery calls and then go either join the course in the one-to-one, they are literally mind blown at what we unearthed and what we discovered of the root cause of what's really going on. And there is a really big mix of like madness and sadness that no one has told them this before. And I completely relate to this. I know I've said before, I was supposed to be the most happiest, joyful person when I got pregnant naturally, and literally almost the first 4 months of that pregnancy, I was fucking pissed off. I was really pissed that this information just wasn't readily available out there. And then obviously a mix of a hope and just that newfound drive and determination, not to necessarily get and stay pregnant, but that there's stuff that they can do to increase their journey with joy and love, and like a proper supported gut supplementation routine, finding food intolerances, realizing that their thyroid is actually a little bit underactive and needs support. Just so many little different things that we discover and break through. And I think it's just like a huge new lease on life. And that it's so important, and it's a game changer. And like thinking about it right now, I guess that's why I kept going, right? I had I want to say close to like more like 5 years of just complete bullshit, right? And year 5 and 6 was kind of like these aha, like, oh wow, okay, so yeah, I've been on this journey a really long time, but these last 2 years have been so dramatically different. and literally produced a new like human being inside me. And then cherry on top, here comes the IVF baby. And then, it only got better from there for me, and it continues to get better. Um, so big hug to everyone who is in the thick of, years of fertility treatments and just unknowing and frustration. Even if it's just been a few months for you and you're landing here. Um, just know when you start using a holistic functional approach, um, that it's just going to be a completely different journey towards the end results. And that it's more joyful and more fun, if I do say so myself. And like, obviously I'm here guiding you, which is huge. And I think my journey would have been way quicker if I had someone like me supporting me. So I hope that this little rant talk has been inspirational, especially if you're going through IVF treatment or IUIs and it's been years and you're just wondering why it's not working. I know there's a chat before this of why your holistic fertility regimes might not be working during IVF, and this might have been like really redundant, like really similar. But yeah, the more you hear it, the more it will resonate with you, and the more you can start implementing the things that you want to make this journey more joyful. All right, my friends, have a beautiful day, and we will see you next time.